Can you do the DTF hack with your inkjet printer? Today I'm going to tell you guys everything that I know, what I have learned when it comes to your inkjet printer and the DTF hack. Hi, I'm crystalAnn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that notification bell down below as well as that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my crafting tutorials. Before we jump into today's video, I am so excited to announce that I now have a membership over on my YouTube channel. I've actually been asked this for a very long time, and I haven't got on board until now. Since we're coming back strong. I have some amazing stuff planned for you guys, so you don't want to miss it. So let me show you how to join. All you have to do is head on over to my YouTube channel. You're going to have a page that looks just like this, and you're going to notice this join button right here. You're simply going to click on it. Next, you should see a little page like this, and this is going to give you all of the information that you need to know. So I actually have two membership tiers. One is $1.99. The other is $4.99. Now let me go ahead and explain what you're going to get with each tier. So for $1.99, you're going to get these loyalty badges. They are so cute. So I've got these for you. So you're going to get a star when you first start out, and then as you're here for a month, you're going to get the super cute glue gun, and then I think it's like 3 or 6 months, so on and so forth. And then you're going to have these really fun emojis. So whenever I'm live or even on the comments down below, you guys are going to be able to comment with these really cute, fun emojis and just make it extra special. So we're starting out with 4, and as we grow, the bigger and the more fun these are going to get. So this is where I'm going to share all of my promo codes and all of the best sells that I can find. So for example, the other day I shared that you could actually get 20% off of the DTF powder. That is my favorite. And then I also have 10% off of Expressions vinyl for you guys over there too. So for $1.99, you're going to get all that kind of stuff. And what this is it's supporting me. So as I'm coming back and growing, this is just supporting me. It's less than a cup of coffee a month, and I truly appreciate it. And like I said, I am giving back to you really fun stuff. Now let's talk about the second tier. Now, I totally forgot to mention with the first one, it is called the Fan Club, and the second one is the Besties. For this tier, you're going to have everything from the first one, and then you're also going to have early access to my new videos. So if you're somebody like me that cannot wait for the next video to come out, you're actually going to get access to that the second I upload it in the background until it goes to premiere. So make sure you watch it ASAP in case I only have it there for a day or two. And then you're going to have member shout outs. So you're going to see a bar at the top of the page. If you go over here, you're going to see a bar that says all of my members, and then you're also going to get shout outs. So I'm going to do really fun shout outs throughout the video, just randomly picking members. It's going to be a ton of fun. And then I'm going to give you photos and status. So in the background on that community tab, you're going to see behind the scenes. You're going to see maybe products that I've purchased before everybody else gets to see that I'm doing it. You're going to get some inside scoop of what videos are coming next. And then I'm going to do some polls too. So you're going to get some really fun stuff to be able to hang out and tell me what videos you want to see next. You're also going to have member only live stream. So I do plan on going live on this channel, but it's going to be members only. So that's one of the ways to just kind of give back to my members, because you're giving me $4.99. So like I said, that's about a cup of coffee a month, and you're going to give that to me. So I want to do something special for you. So that'll be a time for us to come hang out, craft, maybe unbox new products, test things out before I actually go and do them, or I come and give you guys wash test stuff. It's going to be a ton of fun. I have lots of stuff coming with that. So stay tuned. Last but not least, the one I'm most excited about is the printables. So I'm going to be giving you guys free printables. I'm going to upload new ones every single month. So for example, for the first month, I'm going to show you guys here, I have this Cricut mat. So what I've done is I've created the mats here by color. You can see green, purple, blue, and pink. If you notice a star here, that means that is my favorite. And I've put the main supplies that I use right here. So this is a great cheat sheet. If you are just starting out with your Cricut, you can throw this in your drawer, keep it close by your Cricut, so you have that handy, right? It also is going to give you guys the cleaning supplies. So it's got a little list here of quick cleaning supplies so you guys can clean those mats and use them over and over again. Now what I did was I created a second one. So this one is identical to the first one, but what this is it's blank. So that way you guys can go in and fill in, because your materials may be different from mine, and that way you can go in and fill these out and keep it close by. So I know, okay, I'm using felt, I'm keeping it on my pink mat, so on and so forth. So you could put all those tips and tricks right there. And you could also put in the hacks. So say for example, on my pink mat, maybe I'm gonna be putting some transfer tape down first, then putting my felt to protect the mat, so I could put those little tips right in here. So there's lots more of these coming. I'm doing a quick heat guide that's not only gonna include your Cricut stuff, like your Caesar Easy Weed and all of those, it's gonna have sublimation as well as a DTF hack. So it's one quick guide for you guys to grab. There's lots more to come. So this one I am most excited about. So if you guys want access to all of this, as well as everything I've mentioned today, make sure you guys join my membership. Now let's go ahead and jump in today's project. So we are going to be talking about everything DTF hack with your inkjet printer. I've got lots of questions that I'm going to be answering here today. I've learned a lot. If you guys have been following me over on the Designbundles YouTube channel, you know we have tested this a few times and we've learned some things. So I'm bringing it here on crystalAnn and I'm going to tell you everything I know, as well as testing a new hack, and we're gonna see if this one works today. All right, so let's go over one of the very first questions that I get is, what ink are you using in your inkjet printer? I'm using the ink that comes with my printer. So it is the ink that you get the day you purchase your printer from the store. That is what is in this printer. Now, I am subscribed to the Canon as well as the HP. I do pay that little small monthly fee where they send me new ink when it's low. You don't have to do that, but it's just the same ink that comes with a printer. So you just need plain inkjet ink. Now, let's go ahead and explain here. What's the difference between the colored ink and the black ink? I've actually learned this from you guys. That's what I love. You guys make sure you're commenting down below anything that you may know or the tips and tricks that you have, because I learned from you guys too. So I've learned from you guys that the colored ink is not the same as the black ink. The black ink, I believe, is a pigment ink, where the colored ink is a dye ink. If I'm wrong on that, you guys correct me down below. So the black ink will work 100% successfully. The color will not shift or go anywhere whenever you wash it, time after time after time. So what is that going to be perfect for? Things that you wash, like your t-shirts. You can still throw it on tote bags and all of those things, but you could throw it on garments that you're actually going to wash. Now, when it comes to the colors, you could throw it on tote bags like this. Now, for example, these two were done with sublimation, but just to show you the example, they'll turn out exactly the same. But with the colors, you can actually throw it on things that you're not going to wash. Throw pillows, tote bags. You could put them on zipper pouches, hats. So many different things that you guys can actually accomplish with your colored ink. Now, say for example, I bought my t-shirt from the Dollar Tree for $1.25, or I grabbed it somewhere for $1.50. It's not that much money. I may go ahead and put that color on a t-shirt, knowing I'm only going to be able to wear that t-shirt one time because it's for my son's birthday party, and I'm going to make one for my husband, one for myself and my other children, so we can match. They're going to stand up perfectly until you go to wash them. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now for this hack, I'm using the same DTF powder as well as the film that I do with the sublimation. So this is my favorite powder. I have it linked down below for you guys. It's my favorite. It has no smell. It works amazing. Highly recommend. It's around $20. And just like I mentioned before, they had a promo code. I do believe it's over with now. You just check the box before you add it to your cart. It was 20%. So keep an eye on that. And then my film here is this one right here. I do have some new film coming to test out. So you guys stay tuned for that, because currently this one right here, I can no longer find it in the 8.5 by 11. So I have found another brand that actually has it in the 8.5 by 11. So that's the one you're going to find linked below. Now, the really cool thing that I have learned with this hack, with this particular inkjet printer, is you can just simply add a stack of papers like this. So it's just a stack of plain papers. I put it in the back here, and then I'm able to just simply load my film in, which you'll see here in a minute, and I don't have to do any sort of tape hack or anything like that. So that's really cool in itself. So I want to show you guys two different hacks today. Number one, we're going to be using this one. I want to show you just simply using black designs. There's so many different black PNGs that you can use, and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to be using this one right here, and I'm going to put it on a colored t-shirt just to show you, and I promise you when you wash it, it's going to uphold, right? So this one right here is She's Both Hellfire and Holy Water. You guys raise your hand down below. Let me know if this is you. I love this one. It is so cute. So this is my thinking here. I want to be able to get the most real estate whenever it comes to adding this, because I'm using it at 8.5 by 11. So I may go ahead and rotate this. I'm going to look to see the dimensions. So 6.2 by 5.3. So I definitely am. I'm going to rotate this because it's smaller on that height. So the first thing I'm gonna do is rotate this 90 degrees, that way I can get the most real estate. And I'm gonna go ahead and stretch this guy out as big as I possibly can. Now, one thing that I see all of the time is the roller marks. What do I do? What do I do? So with this one, I found that I really like to kind of center this up, leaving a little bit of an edge on the sides, so that way it helps with the roller marks. So I'll kind of center this guy up. I'm leaving a little bit for the bottom to grab it for me, and it's going to be perfect. So I'm leaving a little bit at the top and the bottom, as well as those sides. When it comes to getting my prints ready for the printer, whether it's for sublimation or this inkjet hack, what I like to do is use Canva, use the free version, bring it in, size it out on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and then you're just going to go ahead and get ready to share this. I'm just going to go ahead and hit download, send it over my computer so we can get ready to print. Now that we're ready to print this, all we need to do is mirror this. You could definitely do it over there on Canva, or you could do it right here on your desktop. So I've clicked on it. I'm just gonna go up here to Tools, and then we are going to flip horizontal. So now we're mirrored. Now all we simply have to do is go up here to File and Print. It's going to choose our printer and be ready to go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load that film. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that now. You can see that we have a matte side as well as a glossy side. Now, some of these have matte side on both, so you want to figure out which one you're printing on. So this one in particular has a glossy side. You're going to put the glossy side against your paper, and we're going to slide this guy all the way down. If you're having issues, just pull your paper up and pop that guy down. That easy. No hack on that. We just got to load it. So this guy's ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and hit print. So as you can see, it just simply pulled it through. It's ready to go. Now, while that's printing, you want to make sure you have your parchment paper or copy paper, something down below to grab your powder. Some people use a little tote. You can get a little tote from the Dollar Tree and just keep that with a lid on it for your powder. So feel free to do whatever you would like. You definitely just want to powder this ASAP while the inks are wet. So that's why I'm just ready to go. All right, so we're going to grab this guy right over here, and you can see that it's absolutely perfect. No marks from the wheels or anything. Just give yourself room for those wheels. And then we're going to get this guy out of the way. We're going to start up here at the top, get some powder down. Everything goes back in the container. If you guys have been watching my hacks, you guys know. So I'm going to go back and forth here, just like that. All right, so we're going to shake that guy off, and we're going to set it out of the way. Today, I'm going to show you guys the hack of using your Cricut Easy Press instead of the griddle. So if you have a griddle, definitely use that. But today, I'm going to be using the Cricut Easy Press. I showed it in my last video, so I want to make sure I show it for the inkjet printer as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on, and we're going to get it at 385. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Now that this is heated at 385, I've got my Cricut pad down just to be safe. I'm going to grab this guy by the handle here, keeping my hands off of the plate, carefully flip this guy upside down. Now with this hack, please keep in mind that you're doing this at your own risk, because this is super hot. This is 385. I would prefer, really honestly, to do the griddle just because I can kind of have it designated to it. I want to make sure I don't get nothing on it. If you don't want to purchase something separate when you can actually use this, or even using your bigger heat press, that lower platen, you can use that too. You would heat your bigger heat press at 385. Once it's ready to go, you would lower that for 20 minutes to heat up the bottom platen. You may want to do it a couple times. Get it out of the way, even if it's a clamshell, and just set it on there. Now, whenever I say set it on there, what we're doing, especially with this, we're going to put the parchment paper first, because I want to protect my iron. Then I'm going to take our design. Now, this is a question I get all of the time, is what side are you putting it on? So the glossy side that you can see here, we are putting that face down. You don't want to put the powders down because that's adhesive. You don't want to melt it to this. So that is face up. And as you can already see, it's activating. It is so cool. It actually works. Now, another question I've seen is where it kind of folds up. Even with the griddle, you may notice it kind of folding up this way. You can take some tweezers here. I'm not touching the design, just outside of the design. In that area, I'm going to hold those down, and it's going to start to heat up that powder as well. If you guys have ever worked with embossing powders, with scrapbooking or card making, it's the same sense, right? So it really honestly works the same. Now, you guys comment down below. Let me know if you've tried this hack, whether it's with the inkjet or whether it is with sublimation, and let me know what your results were. Have you tried using your Cricut? Did you purchase the griddle? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. This process takes anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. Once you're done, you could definitely use your tweezers, but I've got a curl here. You want to be safe, so you could just use your tweezers, pull it off just like this, and this guy is good to go. So I'm going to set it out of the way. We're going to move our parchment paper. Carefully, I'm going to get my hand underneath, keep it way away from that, and we're going to put this guy back. just like that. And we did it. We have successfully cured our transfer. You definitely do not have to cure. That's how I started out doing it, and everybody was panicking. They're like, why are you not curing? Because you don't have to. This is gonna allow me to store it. I can set it, I can move it around. If I need to shift it on my t-shirt, I can mail it and sell them if I want to. You can do lots of things once it's cured. But if you don't want to cure those powders, once you have the powder, if you place it down very carefully and get it down, you could actually just press it. You could skip the whole curing step, honestly. All right, so now that this guy is ready to go, look at that design. It looks so good. Let's get our t-shirt ready to go. Now that we have finished our curing process, we're gonna go from 385 to 300 degrees. So we're gonna drop this guy down to 300 degrees because we don't need the high heat to get this to apply to the t-shirt. So you just need it for the curing purposes. So we're gonna go ahead and go to 300 degrees for 20 seconds. So while this cools down, we'll go ahead and prep up our t-shirt. The t-shirt that I'm using today is Gildan Soft Style. This is actually 50 poly, 50 cotton, but you can do this on 100% cotton. That's what's amazing. You can do it on hoodies, sweatshirts, all sorts of fun stuff, canvas tote bags like I talked about, but we're gonna do this on this one here. I love this orange, just to kind of show you that black on this, just to show you can do it on colors. You don't have to just stick with white t-shirts. So I'm really, really excited about this one. I'll have this link down below. I buy all of my shirts from Clothing Shop Online. They always have a promo code. I'm working on coupon codes with them, so make sure and stay tuned for that. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy on the Cricut pad here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use that lint roller just to make sure that I don't have any lint. Get that out of the way, and then we're gonna go ahead and pre-press. I don't have to wait for my temperature to drop all the way back down to pre-press, and doing this is actually gonna help speed up the process of cooling it down. This is just gonna go ahead and make sure we pull out all of that moisture. Now, whenever it comes to colors like this, you may notice that color change just a little bit. I don't know if you guys are picking that up or not. I promise you, if you're new to making t-shirts, that is going to go right back down to normal, so just be patient. It's just where the moisture is coming out of it. All right, so there we go. So now we're gonna let this cool down, and I'm gonna get ready to find the placement for our design. Now to figure out our placement, I'm gonna go ahead and take this. We are going to fold it in half, get a little crease line. Because I did center this perfectly, I know it's going to be centered, right? So we've got this, I've got my heat tape because there is no stick to this. We wanna tape it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and come down around 4 fingers or so, 4 or 5 fingers from the top there. We're just gonna try to get that nice and even, just kind of looking at my t-shirt there. Just like that. I think that's gonna be cute. I'm so excited about this design. It's so cute. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get us 2 pieces of tape, just like so. And once again, all the supplies I'm using is linked down below, as well as the printer, everything. Now that our iron is ready, we're gonna go on top of this with a parchment paper. I just like to protect my heat press from any sort of debris from the transfer powder. Make sure none of that adhesive is sticking to this because I don't want it on other projects. So I have a new clean piece of parchment. Now we're gonna go right on top and we're gonna hit go. So I'm gonna give a little bit of pressure right here in the middle just for 20 seconds. That's all it's gonna take. All right, there we go. And honestly, as I'm doing this, I'm starting to think here, you don't even need the 385 for the inkjet hack because we're not activating the ink colors like we would with sublimation. The reason why we do it with sublimation ink is because we're activating those colors so we can press it at a lower temp. But with the DTF hack with the inkjet, honestly, you could probably just heat it to 300, melt the powders until they're melted, and you should be good to go. So I'm gonna throw that out there. The next step that we wanna do is completely let this cool down before we try to pill it. Now for me, since I have granite, I'm just gonna flip this guy upside down, and then I'm just gonna rub the back of the t-shirt just to kind of help speed up and cool this down. We are ready to pill, so we're just gonna get a corner here. And get our tape up, there we go, and peel. Now remember, this is a distressed design, so this is not from the paper. This is distressed. It is so cute. It reminds me of a screen print. So I'm gonna get this out of the way and we're gonna check it out. As you guys can see here, the 8.5 by 11 is a perfect size. Just keep in mind whenever you're finding designs, you really wanna find some that is horizontal. It just makes it so much better to stretch it out compared to going vertical and only having this area here. So keep that in mind when you're finding your designs for this hack. But check that out. It looks amazing. I cannot wait to be rocking this t-shirt. Once again, throw it in the wash as normal. You can put it in the dryer, all of the things. And this stuff is not gonna budge anywhere when it comes to the black inks. Moving on to our second project, we're going to do this on a black t-shirt. So this is where we're gonna be trying out a new DTF hack with the inkjet printer, and this is gonna be the one where we apply it on top of the white HTV. So we're gonna use our Cricut for this one, so let's get started. So we're gonna be using this design right here. So I made this t-shirt last night. Now this one is actually made with sublimation ink, so this one is going to stay completely true. So if you wanna do this exact same thing with the sublimation ink, definitely check it out because I know it's gonna work. Now for this one, you guys can look at the comments below. In the very first comment, I have it pinned, and I'm gonna let you guys know the wash results, whether this works or not. Here we go. So what we're gonna do is I've got my design over here inside of Cricut Design Space. Now this is my design. You guys will see this coming very, very soon to the membership, so stay tuned for that. So this one says you can totally make that. I have one that says I can totally make that, but I want you guys to know that you can totally make that too. So we're gonna be making this one here. What I wanna do is the same thing. I wanna be able to keep that nice real estate. So I'm gonna go over here to that warning from Cricut, and I'm just gonna go ahead and hit that dot, and then we're gonna hit auto resize. Now keep in mind, you guys can do this with your brother's scan and cut, because I know some of you guys follow me, even though you have a brother, and thank you so much for doing that. You could use your Caesar, you could use your Silhouette, whatever die cutting machine you have, all right? So we've got this resized, and that is going to give me 9.92, so almost 10 inches wide. But let me make sure that that's not gonna be too big for my tank top, because I'm gonna do a tank top here today. Now this one right here is also from Clothing Shop Online. I'll have it linked below, but you could grab these locally at Walmart, Target. All right, so let me get this guy down here and let's measure. Just taking my tape measure here. I probably don't wanna go wider than 8 inches, so I'm gonna do 7.5, and that way I can have that little bit of an offset. So I'm gonna go over here to my width, and I'm going to change that to 7.5, enter, there we go. So that's gonna give me 3.623. And so now what we wanna do is add an offset. So we're gonna come right over here to this offset. We're just simply gonna click on it, and then we're gonna adjust it to the size that we want it. I don't want it that big, way too big, so I'm gonna bring that guy down. I just really wanna be able to kind of trace everything out. So something right about there, maybe even just a smidge more in. I just want that nice white offset. So there we go. We're gonna go ahead and hit apply. The next thing that I wanna do is you're gonna notice that offset is print and cut because our design is print and cut. I wanna come over here and change that to a basic cut, and then I'm gonna change it to white. So now we have our design. So the first one's print and cut. We're gonna print it out with this, and then our second one is gonna be cut with the Cricut. So let's start off with a printer. So let's go ahead and hit make it. We're gonna choose on the mat, and then we're gonna hit confirm. Now for both of these, we need a mirror so you can see our print and cut. You can see those borders there. And so we're gonna go ahead and mirror, and then we're gonna go ahead and mirror this one as well. Now, if you don't wanna waste material, you could definitely do 2 projects at once. So if you're gonna be doing a zipper bag or anything like that, throw that one on here as well so you can go ahead and get that guy printed out at the same time. All right, so we've got both of these mirrored, so let's go ahead and send this guy over to the printer. So we're gonna go ahead and hit continue. Now the really cool thing about this, if you guys always follow along with my DTF hacks or my sublimation hacks, normally I will save this using system dialog. This is that one time where I talk about it and I'm like, you can print this if you have your Epson or whatever. We're using our Canon today, so you can see it's already chose. All I want to do is turn off that bleed, and we are ready. So we're just gonna go ahead and hit print. But before I do, let's load it with that same film, same thing. I've got the matte side facing out. We're gonna get it in here. Move those things out of the way. There we go. I'm hoping I don't get any wheel marks because of that, but we're about to find out. All right, so let's go ahead and hit print. So this guy is simply going to pull it all the way through for us. While that's printing out, let's get our area ready for the powder because we want to act quickly, right? So we're going to scoot everything out of the way and be ready to go. So let me get my powder back here. And for this one, like I was talking about that 300 degrees, we're gonna try that today. All right, so I did not get any wheel marks, so yay to that. So you guys can see that there. We're gonna cut away those little black squares in a minute because I'm not gonna use the Cricut to cut this piece out because there's no need. I mean, I can see right through it. If it was, you know, white paper, like if I was sublimating or something, I would want to go ahead and use my Cricut to trim around it maybe just to kind of help me visually see, but this is clear. We do not need to waste time and use our Cricut. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and just make sure everything is nice and powdered, just like that. Shake off any sort of excess. All we're simply gonna do is trim away those squares. I've been starting to do it after I powder because it's not wasting that much powder. That way I'm not wasting time of my inks drying, right? Because I do not want to risk losing how wet my inks are to grab my powder. So I've just been doing it after the fact. So you're just going to trim that away. And there we go. We've got our design. So you guys can see that right here. I'm going to bring it up. So there we go. So we are going to go ahead and clean up this powder really fast and get ready to heat it up. If you guys have not seen my previous videos, I got this little vacuum from Temu and I love it for the DTF powder. I purchased it. It's a desk vacuum and I'm going to go ahead and get this now. And I'll actually link it down below for you guys in case you want to snag it. All right, so there we go. So now I'm going to get this out of the way and we're going to get ready to press it. Same thing, we're gonna take that iron. This time it's at 300 degrees, so we're gonna find out today if it's gonna work. Once again, this is not sublimation ink, so we don't need the 385. So we're gonna take our parchment paper, we're gonna get down very carefully. Don't touch your iron like I just did. You wanna be safe. You can use your heat gloves as well. You could have those on just for extra safety. So you notice it's curling up. I'm just gonna go in here and hold this guy down just to get those powders to start melting. Now, I will say having it at 300 degrees compared to 385, we could probably do 350 as well or 320. The powders are gonna melt a lot slower, I'm already seeing. Now that they're melted, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this guy up and we are ready to go for this. I'm gonna get this out of the way, move this stuff. I'm gonna bring my Cricut up here so we can get ready to cut out our white HTV. Now that our Cricut is ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and choose Everyday Iron On. I've got my Caesar Easy Weed in white here. Use whatever brand you would like. I'm gonna put the glossy side down. I'm just gonna load this on the mat here, just like that. Get it right where we need it to be. We're gonna take that mat, we're gonna load it right inside of the Cricut, hit that load button, and we're gonna get ready to cut it out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit that go button. Now, while this is cutting out, let's go ahead and get our t-shirt ready to go. All right, so we've got our Cricut pad here. I've got my tank top right here. So I'm just gonna kind of get this right up here at the top, just like that. Try to avoid any of these creases from the back. So one of the very first things we're gonna do is we are going to remove any sort of lint. We don't have to worry about dropping down our tip because it's at the 300 degrees. So that does make it nice. I know that it took a little bit longer, not too bad. I still think it took around a minute. So it's nice. I'm not having to wait for it to go back down. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and heat this guy up. I'm gonna remove any sort of moisture and just smooth everything down just for a few seconds. Get that guy out of our way. We're almost done here. We're getting ready to weed it out. All right, so now that we're done, we're just gonna simply hit that unload, bring it right over here. And then I'm going to place it right down on my t-shirt to start heating up the vinyl to make it a whole lot easier to weed. Now I have it with the glossy side. I definitely do not have the HTV face down. It's just to heat it up so it's just a whole lot easier to weed it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and heat my t-shirt just a few more seconds. This is just something I've really been loving doing. If you ever notice that your HTV is a little bit tougher to weed, especially in the cooler months, I keep my studio nice and cold in here. You may notice that. All you need to do is heat this stuff up and it's gonna weed so much better. So I'm just gonna go and get a corner here and start weeding this guy out. Now that we have it weeded out, this is where the fun magic's fixing to happen. So what we're gonna do is take our design, I'm gonna fold it in half here, get a little bit of a crease mark, and that's gonna help find that center for me. I don't wanna go off the complete sheet because it's not centered. Now what we're gonna do is go from that neck tag, we're just gonna go down somewhere right about in here, should be pretty good to go. Now the next step is we just need to tack this down. So around 5 seconds or so is pretty good. If you go to peel it and you notice that it's not sticking down, then go ahead and press it for a few more seconds. You just don't want to overheat your adhesive vinyl, right? So this is a hot peel, but I'm going to actually let it cool for just a few seconds just to help it stick. So now I'm going to go ahead and peel and it looks great. So you've seen, I did not cut this out. This was just a few seconds, literally, just being nice and gentle because it's not fully connected, if you will. I get this guy out of the way and then we are going to add this in. I'm so excited. Look at this. Is this not so adorable? I love it so, so much. Once again, this stuff is not sticky, so we need to use our heat tape here. 2 pieces is honestly sufficient, 1 on each side. We just want to make sure everything is lining up very nicely, just like that. And you really want to wait till this cools down just a little bit before you try to place that, just in case you don't want those the adhesive from this design to start melting to that. So you want to let that HTV underneath melt just a little bit. Now for this right here, once again, I'm going to go over it with that parchment paper. and then we're gonna go right on top. So 300 degrees for 20 seconds. So I'm giving in some nice pressure right here in the middle, and this guy's gonna be good to go. All right, here we go. So we are going to get that out of the way. Same thing as before, we're gonna let this guy completely cool down before we try and pill it. To speed that up, we are gonna flip it upside down, just like I did before on my granite countertop. If you have a cooling stone or maybe like that eraser from Stalls, you could definitely use those as well, or just wait for it to completely cool down. It won't take too long. But remove your heat pad out from underneath it because that's just gonna retain that heat just to kind of help speed it up. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I am so pumped for this. Okay, here we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a corner. I'm gonna get that tape here, and we are going to carefully peel. It is looking amazing. Oh my gosh. Now the true test is actually gonna be whether it holds up in the wash. I'm really hoping this push between the two layers of the HTV as well as having that DTF powder, I'm hoping that's gonna lock it in. Now, if you guys followed me over on Designbundles, you know we have tested out everything that we possibly could. We waited 3 or 4 days to wash it. We double coated it, so once it was heated up, we actually went back in with the powder again. We double coated, we did all sorts of different things to test out to try to get it to lock into the t-shirt, and it was unsuccessful. So, we are testing this one. This is the very first time I've tested this right here on the channel, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Once again, just watch the very first comment down below to look for the wash results. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. You guys let me know in the comments below. What are you thinking? Are you guys waiting? I bet you guys are like, Crystal, we need to know right now. Is this going to hold up? This is amazing. Now, I've been getting comments too. People are like, what's the purpose, Crystal? What's the purpose of this? Hey, if you are a crafter and you are die hard, we are here for the hacks, okay? We are DIY, we are hacking it, right? So this is basically, you wouldn't have to buy printable HTV because honestly, none of those have really been that successful. They all still lose some of the color, but this is getting you the DTF hack. Now, this is allowing you to have that white background you would see in the white DTF films, right? So this is really cool. It's on a black t-shirt, on a tank top at that. And I think it just came out so cool. This is amazing. I cannot wait to see this hold up. And so you guys let me know if you're loving these DTF hacks and you want to see more, make sure you guys sound that down below. I actually have 2 more coming whenever it comes to the sublimation that's about to blow your mind. I'm fixing to take away everything that I taught you guys, I feel, and we're doing it completely different. I'm fixing to tell you to do something that I tell you not to do. We're about to be mind blown, so you guys don't miss that one. That is going to be next Wednesday. Make sure you guys tune in as well and check it out. So if you guys have enjoyed this, make sure you guys please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. I love reading all of your comments and your thoughts. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my crafting tutorials.